days to tell you about. I'll be in Las Vegas on Portland, North fifth grade, to know that one of her students is getting to sit down with a today's current club for long.
The guest is the Crash Dummies Pod, Mike and Pat. They're coming over. Die? Okay, that's a bit aggressive. Gamers in the stream are the uncommitted to the DNC. Bro, you're going to get accidentally fucking banned, okay? I don't want you to, but like... Oh, man.
But your thing is going really great. My son's a big fan of yours, Barron.
Really, Barron is?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
he just graduated high school, right?
That's right. He just did. He knows you very well. He said, Dad, he's big.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's with Trump and like constantly relying on his sons for media appearances?
Big one.
That's cool.
So that's good.
What,
well, that's where it is nowadays, right?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. You know, yeah, I can't believe that we're able to get platforms. And I started in my kitchen, and then...
Bro really needs to be monitoring his son's fucking intake, dude. Yo querer que eu casse.
Yeah, just evolved out of there.
That's fantastic.
I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. What does Barron play?
Do you want to start?
What? Did you hear Barron slapping the shit out of his nanny? No, that's all fake, dude. Come on, bro. Come on.
You go ahead.
Yeah, we're good. Are we rolling?
Yeah, sure.
We're good. Yeah, that's yeah. Does Barron play sports or anything?
He does. He plays golf and different sports.
Ew, bro. Let him play ball. He's like 6'8", dog. He's 6'8" and Slovenian. What the fuck is wrong with you? He's going to turn into Osama bin Laden, bro. This is what happens when you're 6'8" and your fucking dad doesn't let you play ball. You literally become Osama bin Laden. Okay? Let him fucking hoop, dog. He's going to do 9/11 if you don't let him hoop.
Soccer. Loves soccer. Very good at soccer. He's a good athlete, Barron.
Yeah. Is he going to go? Has he already picked a college or no?
He has, and he's getting set to go in the fall. Good college, a very good one. And he was always a very good student. He's smart guy.
Which one of your kids, what's something you admire about each one of your sons?
No.
Well, Don is a hunter. He's a great, great hunter, and knows everything about that world and guns and all. He was the first one that said, Dad, boy, you got lucky, because I didn't realize that 130 yards is actually very close in that parlance. And he said, you got lucky. He knew immediately when he saw that. He said, it's incredible, because that's considered.
I love Theo Von. Baking this in, like in the post, in the edits. Like his editor's like, this is good stuff to put in there.
Pretty close distance.
From how far the shooter was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy wasn't a bad shooter, supposedly. You know, he was a very disturbed guy, but he wasn't a bad shooter. And Eric, likewise, he loves the business. He loves real estate. Also very much of a hunter. And
bro, he can't find anything. Like there is not an ounce of like genuine good feelings that he has for either of his fucking dipshit fail sons. Like, what are you doing? Don't come in here wagging. Okay, god damn it. It's hard not to fucking give you a pet. Do you see the bit from Michael Cohen's book about Trump calling Don Jr. a fucking idiot for shooting an elephant and posting the pig online? I did not, but it makes sense. I mean, he's right. He's literally just describing them, not saying what he admires about them. Yeah, he's like, well, you know, Don Jr., he's a hunter. He likes diet sodas. Anyway, let's continue.
Understands a lot of things about that. They were sort of, as young guys, they were with their grandfather, and he would take them hunting in Czechoslovakia, and somehow they developed very well. And
Czechoslovakia,
yeah,
damn.
Can you imagine?
It's a lot of letters even.
That's a long time. Yeah. That's a name you don't hear too much anymore, but it was...
I'd need a scope just to get through the spell.
That's a name you don't hear too much anymore. That's hilarious.
word,
That's
I
right.
think,
A lot
you
of
know?
people. A lot
Yeah,
of people.
yeah.
But so he'd go. They'd spend time in Europe, and they'd do that. That's where he learned a lot about both of them. Really good.
With your dad, they would go?
No, grandfather. Actually, they had a grandfather who was a wonderful outdoorsman and athlete. And during the summer, he'd take them out into the woods, and they'd go hunting and lots of things, and they loved it. They got to love it. And that's Don, and that's Eric.
Yeah, they're funny.
Oh yeah,
They have a good sense of humor too. Like whenever I see them at UFC, it's like,
yeah, right.
yeah, I just like the first time I was nervous, I think, and then after that, when I've seen them, it's like it's fun to kind of cut up with them a little bit.
Yeah, well, they're good. They're good guys, and they really they get along great with the rest of the family. We all get along great. We have a good family, but I love UFC. You talk about a great guy. How about Dana White?
Yeah.
The job he does, right?
Yeah, I want to thank Dana too for helping get us set up together. Yeah, he makes it happen. I like Dana. He doesn't waste words. He doesn't waste time. He likes to, I think, be efficient, and he has seems like a strong sense of integrity for himself.
Yeah, nobody like him actually. It's there's an expression that everybody is replaceable. Not Dana.
Yeah.
Nobody could do what he does, and he's made that sport into a big monster
Yeah, dude, no one. Like, absolutely zero people beat the shit out of their wives in the same way.
sport.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and we go there and we enjoy it. Go with him. Sometimes we do walk-ons with Dana, and place sort of likes it.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, but
There's
Dana,
a video
yeah,
of
we
us.
have-
I was behind you in one video. I'm sure the dogs here will pull it up. But yeah, those are some of my favorite things ever. UFC became my favorite sport during the pandemic because
Right.
Dana was brave enough to stay open. You know,
He was it. He
yeah.
was the whole ball game. He was the only sport, and he'd open up in arenas with nothing other than very good fighters.
Yeah.
And they would be fighting. He had some of the best fights during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But he
it
would
was
do that.
exceptional. There it is right there. See, look,
Oh,
there
yeah.
you are, and I'm right behind you there.
Oh,
Slapping with that hat on. I'm the white guy in the
that's
hat.
great. That's right. The white guy in the hat is right. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of us there, but I was one of them for sure.
That's right.
Yeah, see, that's me right there.
Good sport, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, I'm a Dustin Poirier fan, so.
Oh, he's great. He was, boy, I tell you, he's a warrior. That last fight he had, whether you like it or not, he is a warrior.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do think that, I think Trump's strategy of going to like right wing, or not even right wing necessarily, but like Trump's strategy as a telegenic person that is like capable of holding a conversation with people who are not immediately at odds with him actually does end up humanizing him a lot to people who are prone to his kind of politics, I think. Like, I don't even know if the Democrats could actually like recreate this with Kamala, especially. You know what I mean? Humanizing a horrible racist monster, great. No, I'm thinking specifically tactics, okay? Like, because this is a question that comes up a lot, you know? This is a type of question that comes up all the fucking time. In the media specifically, like I have had to answer this question like 100 times, both at the DNC and even before the DNC. And I'm sure that this is something that like in the future, journalists will be asking me about as well, given my position as a prominent content creator who is a political commentator on a platform like Twitch. People ask me this all the fucking time. It's like, oh, well, you know, the Democrats want to try to adopt the same strategy as Trump. Problem is, I just don't think that a person like Kamala Harris is capable of like going on. Like, what would be the equivalent? You know what I mean? I just don't see Kamala Harris like doing this with like an equivalent. Kamala Harris on I've Had It is like not a good example though, because no disrespect to the I've Had It ladies, they're great, but this is not like, I mean, look at the numbers even. Like this has 100,000 views. This is before she actually ran, before she became the obviously the presidential candidate, but like that's not the equivalent. You know what I mean? Maybe like Hot Ones potentially. But even then, you would have to do it repeatedly. Like, Trump doesn't do this as a one-off. This is like a whole personality that he's cultivated over many, many years as a content creator himself originally, right? So, like, if Trump just did like 1 or 2 fucking media hits, it would be like Joe Biden going on that what was the podcast with like Speedy, that guy, the fucking Complex podcast. Like, it would look like that. She would have to like do this a bunch of times, but ultimately it would still look stale and manufactured because she appears like very manicured. You know what I mean?
Felt like he didn't get the victory, but it didn't feel like he lost.
No, he didn't lose that fight. He really, the man he was fighting was tough. He was tough and didn't expect that same fight. But he oftentimes will, he makes people suffer. There's no question about it. No, he's a pro. He's a professional.
Yeah, he's all heart. He's from Louisiana. That's where I'm from.
As that fight went along, he just got stronger and stronger, and he was getting pounded, and he was going to be choked out about 4 different times, and he just wouldn't let it happen. No, you say hello to him. He's good.
Yeah, I'll make sure to.
He's a really great fighter.
And he cooks Thanksgiving dinner every year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to go sometime.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he must do good food.
He does, yeah. He does some good stuff over there. Yeah, what was the first? Do you remember like the first fight that you ever went to, whether it was UFC or boxing or anything?
Yeah, I do. It was Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali in Madison Square Garden many, many years ago. And I think that was the first fight I went to. I always liked the boxing.
How old were you, remember?
Oh, boy, I don't know. You can deduct it from what I am now, but it was a long time ago. But they were 2 undefeated fighters. They were both undefeated. Muhammad became a friend of mine. So did Joe, Jolton Joe. They were 2 great fighters. That fight was incredible. I think they had like many heart attacks that night, literally heart attacks in Madison Square Garden. I think it was Madison Square Garden.
What is Theo politically? Just everything. Just the median voter, the perfect median voter.
And the fight was so unbelievable. 2 undefeated heavyweight champions of the world. There was no UFC and there was no competition, really. It was it.
Yeah.
And
Trump played golf with a golfing YouTuber, for example. He's in it for the content. Yeah, and it got 11 million views. Like, he's kind of cooking on his social media strategy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, but it's not something that Kamala Harris, I don't think, can genuinely recreate anyway. You know what I mean? Golfing YouTuber, that guy's a fucking pro. Yeah, man, I don't fucking know, nor do I care. Come on, dog. Like, yeah, okay, he's a golfer. Who cares, bro? Fuck, Jesus Christ. There ain't no way there's this many motherfuckers in this chat that love golf that much. It is the most, like, 50-plus-year-old white man sport of all time. That's crazy. Even Dr. Phil, 16 mil. Dude, yeah. A Trump interview is like literally immediate lock that you're gonna get like 10 million plus views. I mean, look at this one. This one got 10 million in fucking 4 days.
So you had 2 guys. Remember that Muhammad wasn't allowed to fight because of lots of different things, and he was terrific.
Do you think this will reflect? How do you think this will reflect an actual vote? So many 16-year-olds watching Theo can't vote. Maybe I'm wrong. I think, like, if you want to activate a base of voters that are non-voters that maybe were too young to vote or too young to care during your horrific presidential run, this is the best way to do it. This is what I said with the Aiden Ross stuff too, right? Like, he's very clearly going after, like, his team understands that there are a group of voters out there, young men specifically, that have shown in polling results that they are more interested in Republican politics in general, that don't really look at traditional media all that much, and might have been too young to have made up their minds about Donald Trump under the Trump administration, under the Trump presidency. Even if they're like Joe Rogan watchers in general, because like Theo Von probably has a similar audience. Theo Von has a similar audience to Joe Rogan, so I assume it's like a lot of like older men, older than you would think, but men that aren't necessarily tapped in to mainstream interest, mainstream media in general. And the interesting part of that equation is that they don't show up in polls either, especially if they're like non-voters originally. They're not going to show up in polls. What the fuck's going on with my chat? My chat's bricked. Am I still live? What's happening? Did my internet go? All right, let's continue.
Terrific guy. Both terrific guys. Very
And they
different.
finally made it happen. They finally
And
made
they
that
made it
bout
happen.
happen.
So you had two undefeated heavyweight champions fighting.
And who took you to the fight? You remember?
I went with my father and my brother Robert.
Yeah, my chatterino is brick. Look, see that? It doesn't even show like subscriber buttons and shit.
And it was just, I don't know, I must have been very young. It was a long time ago, but you would never forget it. That was one of those moments.
Oh, yeah.
But no, literally, there were like many heart attacks in the arena.
Just people having too much fun, or what do you
they were
think? It was
just
drugs?
having heart attacks because it was such a crazy event.
Oh, yeah.
It was so, the people were just, I know a friend of mine, the father, he had a bad heart attack. Literally, they took him out. They were taking people out.
What is going
early
on,
It was,
Yeah.
bro?
and I don't hear that anymore. I mean, there were other
What is he talking about? Like, why do we care? Come on, move on.
Like, you think it was that?
But-
It's like,
But we had an exciting event the other night with Elon Musk
yeah.
and me.
I listened.
We had a pretty big audience for that one, I can tell you.
Yeah, I listened for probably about like 20 minutes. I thought it was cool. It was. I think the tough part was just like just like it would have been neat if you guys could have been in the same spot, you know. But I still thought it was exceptional.
I heard the audio was great, and actually they put out a clear tape of it because they had clear tape.
Oh, nice.
They
Oh, the audio is great. He's talking about the list.
had so many millions and millions of people watching, like record numbers of people. And I'm trying to figure out, we're on a cell phone, or I was, and, you know, that's a lot of people coming into a cell phone one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I heard some people had a problem with the audio. I don't know. I don't do that thing. You know, that was done. And we had a great conversation. It was for 2 hours and 15 minutes. They just put out a clear tape of it, a perfect tape of it. But
I'll have to go back and
I
listen to
sounded, I think I sounded, somebody said your voice was distorted or something. And you know, I guess
It's so funny. He hates the way he's perceived, and it's obvious. He hates the way he's perceived. It's obvious that he heard the lisp shit and it pisses him off, but he doesn't want to draw too much attention to the lisp. So he's just trying to say it without saying it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I heard the audio, there was some issues or something.
that happens. Look, it was such a big thing, such a big audio. But I would have loved to have seen the clear tape originally. They put it out right after the show, so now it's a clear tape where a perfect tape done there.
Yeah.
But when it goes through different phone systems and everything else, you think if we were together, that doesn't happen then? Because I think his voice was more clear than
Yeah, maybe
mine.
because he was the one who was like initiating the call. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about how all that works. But yeah, I know that in post, a lot of times they can tighten things up and make it better. You know, yeah, it's amazing how Elon, like, the cost to really have your own voice in the world is $44 billion, basically.
Well,
If you
But
want to have
he's-
your voice, like, you know what I'm saying? He has his own channel.
and he does what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he's a fantastic guy, and he's a brilliant person, and the country should be very proud of him, actually. I have Truth, which has been very successful.
True Social, you mean?
True Social, yeah. And that's been very successful in getting my voice out. Well, I needed a voice because, I was on Twitter and I was on Instagram. I was on all of it. And I was on Facebook. And when you added it up, I was told by Zuckerberg and others, it was like record-setting type of numbers. And then one day I didn't have anything because they canceled. They canceled.
There's such a collusion there, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty bad thing. And so I had nothing. So after about a month, I have a lot of things to say. And after about a month, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just go out and put out an old public relations statement. You remember that? And although you're a little young to see it, but in the old days, you'd put out a statement. And I did, and it was just gobbled up. It was really gobbled up. And I opened Truth, and Truth has become terrific, actually, for me.
Platform.
I really want just as a platform. It's more important than anything else. And
well, at least you have your voice then. You can say what you want to say.
My voice back, yeah. I had hundreds of millions of people. Even now, I haven't been too active on X, but I have, I guess, 90 some odd million people on it. But I was much higher than that when I was
it's like
actually
all the people. I don't even know how many people there are.
Yeah, it's been, but I love the job he's done, and he's brought a certain voice back into play.
Yeah.
The previous people were terrible.
Yeah.
Every time you do a thing, you'd be red flagged. They'd put up a red flag. Every statement you made, you'd be red flagged.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like when you have a babysitter and they don't want to have any fun or whatever.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of the vibe I got. When you, because I see you at the fights. I see you, sometimes you'll sit right by Dana. And sometimes I'll sit, like me, I'll go with like David Spade sometimes as a close friend of mine.
Good.
And, I'll see you coming with Kid Rock and, and you don't drink at the fights.
By the way, Kid Rock is, he's terrific. He came to the convention. He knocked everybody out. He was fantastic. He's a great guy. He's just a great guy. He's popular, very popular.
Oh, he's definitely he's a real dirt
my guests are here.
too, dude. He's a freaking legend, He's a legend.
He is a legend, I guess, in a true sense.
Oh, 100%. People love him, dude. Look at him. I went to his show not long ago somewhere, and I think some guy had a heart attack there too, but it was more funnel cake related, I think, type of vibes.
He draws big crowds, actually. It's amazing. I saw one. He was out someplace recently at 80,000 people. He's big stuff, but he's forget about that. I call him Bob, named Bob, right? It's Bob, Kid Rock, but it's Bob. But he's a really good guy. And
I've been over to his house
He's a cool cat, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I live in Nashville. Right when I got into town, he hit me up one night and was like, hey, man, I'm having a birthday party this weekend. You should come. And I didn't even know him, and it was nice of him. And since then, we've done a lot of fun stuff together. His brother's missing a leg, too, which is crazy. He looks like the lamp. Have you ever seen that movie, The Lamp, from a Christmas Story or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's fantastic. The family, the father, I knew very well. He just passed away. And it was tough.
You knew his dad?
For the brother. I did. And he was fantastic. Yeah. I got to know him through knowing Bob. And I tell you what, it's just a fantastic family, the whole family.
Yeah. No, I love Bob. He and I joke around together a lot. We've spent a lot of time together. Look at his brother right there.
That's right.
The dude hits.
And you know what? He plays golf and he plays well.
We're watching
interview yet.
Yeah, we're watching the Trump interview. Go back? Wait, go back to what? What's happening? All right, we got guests in the building.
Hello.
Crash Dummies Pod. Rewind that shit. Oh my God. Wait, why? What did he say? All right. Welcome to Twitch. You guys don't stream, right?
We did for a little bit.
Very short career.
Very 3 month Twitch career.
Yeah, they're dripped out. This is a very white community overall.
Is this your first black people on the stream?
No, but yeah, we'll just say yes. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, this is the first time I've had black people in my house in general.
We're like the Jackie Robinsons of Twitch, right?
Yeah, you guys are. Oh, I mean, there's definitely black people on Twitch.
Your Twitch.
Oh, my Twitch. Okay, yeah.
We're here from the Negro League. How are you doing?
We're gonna be doing a podcast in a little bit, but I wanted to introduce you guys to my community a little bit because we're gonna collaborate. Oh yeah, actually, I did have Christian Walker. You guys know who Christian Walker is? Herschel Walker's son.
I know who Herschel Walker is.
Yeah, he's gay and he's like he was like a He's like a gay commentator.
Isn't Herschel Walker in politics?
Herschel, well, he tried to be in politics, but he failed.
Okay.
He got owned by Raphael Warnock. Guys, stop naming black people that I had on the stream. That's
I love this.
That's how you know this is a white ass community.
this like
immediately.
This is like name your black friends, and they're just going crazy.
Literally. That's like people will do this to me sometimes. Will be like, why don't you have more black people on? And then it's like, and then Chad will immediately start listing off all the black people that have been on the stream, and it's like, dude, you can't. Like that's a losing. That is just you can't win in that situation.
At least 10.
Yeah. A strong 10 too.
Yeah,
and not just that one guy in the blue shirt.
Which guy in the blue?
That's what I usually say.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. Yeah,
that's how I refer to people I don't remember. You know that guy in the blue shirt.
So, Pat, you have no idea what I do, or do you?
Yes.
Oh, you do.
Yes.
Because I know Mike was saying he's like seen older videos of mine back in the day when I first reached out to you guys. He was like, no, I know. Like, I'm familiar with what you do.
I get very jealous of your style because I call it a style of comedy. I get very jealous because it's like you also have to think how they think and also think how we think and then combine them and still, be able to talk about that stuff and kind of.
I mean, I guess.
Comedy?
Yeah. That's like, to me, that's tough because everything I say on our podcast is not correct. I don't fact check anything I say, and I'm so happy that nobody that listens to our podcast ever asked me to.
No,
but your stuff has to be fact checked.
But I wish I could get. Yeah, my stuff's not fact checked either. I lie all the time. Don't worry about it. That's what I do as well. I just make stuff up on the spot. But thank you for saying that. What I do is comedy. That's nice. Okay. Well, in any case, you guys. Well, Mike had a really good idea of for those of you in the chat that don't know, they have a really funny podcast. They're huge on TikTok. They show up on my For You page all the time. And one of the things that you guys do usually is you have callers call in.
Yeah.
And my podcast is very white. Like my co-host is a former Mormon lady by the name of Cutie Cinderella. She's awesome. She's incredible. And a gay white guy. And the only funny person on the pod is not here right now. So I thought it'd be funny if your callers, like if we responded to some of your callers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was his idea actually.
Yeah.
I didn't suggest it.
I think it'd be
I want
funny.
to say, yeah.
We're trying to ask a question today that's more. I want you to argue with some people today. That's the goal.
How can we get people to tell us their deepest thoughts about what's going on in the presidential race right now? Because the deep thoughts are like the ones that people shouldn't be putting out there.
I don't want people from my community
I don't know. There's gonna be very uneducated opinions from ours. So
that's why it's funny. That's why it's like way funnier. Like, if they do it, if they respond, it's gonna be boring and annoying.
Yes.
It's gonna be no different than like what I do in general.
The average education.
What is your relationship with your audience? Because sometimes I see your stream sometimes. It's like you troll them and you call them idiots sometimes, but then it's almost like a family in a sense where nobody else outside can kind of make fun of them but you.
It is like that. It is like that for sure. Sometimes it does get abusive because it's like I have a policy of just like letting anybody talk in the stream, and that can be really fucking stupid at times, especially when there's like a lot of chirpers who come in and then like they repeat the same points over and over again. You know what I mean? And then
say he hits us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sometimes they need it. You know what I mean?
What would you say what do you think the education range is of like your listeners?
I think they're decently well, like in comparison to like the Theo Vaughn audience, I would say, because we were just watching, like they're probably more educated. They're more interested in politics. They're nerds, you know?
Yeah. Ours is like,
who the fuck would be interested in politics?
Yeah, I feel like ours is like everybody went to DeVry and they graduated. They're like the class of March and like
it's a solid institution.
Yeah, they got 1 month scholarship and they're just like, actually, did you know that we got a bunch of know-it-alls in ours that like write paragraphs?
Oh, we got a bunch of I think that's just like common across the board on the internet. Like there's always know-it-alls.
Yes.
In general.
Yes.
Let me say they got a PhD.
Let me get an understanding of what your guys' interest in politics is. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Very uneducated.
Yes. I will say. Let's start off with that. Like, make that statement again.
Very uneducated.
Yes. Before you hear anything coming
we
from
read the headline and we go with the headline.
Yes. I like when politics talk about everything that doesn't have to do with actual politics. Like, we're in the middle of like, talking with other countries. The tension is very high, and we're accusing one of our people that's running for president of their dad not being black. So it's just like, when we talk about that stuff like that, that's very interesting to me to see where we are as a country.
Very vibe based.
Yeah. Donald Sterling is black. He is a black man, for the record.
Very vibe based. I think though, I think we talk more about the stuff that has nothing to do with any policies, more about like something like this. We would probably talk about like something he said that's like, when Trump and Biden were arguing about golf, like we'll talk about the golf aspect rather than
there is one aspect of this where Trump was like talking to Theo Von in this interview. I only saw one moment of it from the interview, but Theo Von is like describing to him what doing coke is like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought that was sick. Did you guys have the clip of that?
I think I saw that. Because then Trump's, was it his brother was
Trump's brother, I think he was an alcoholic.
Yeah,
but Trump's son is a cokehead. Have you guys ever seen Don Jr.? Like, he is 100%.
Like legit a cokehead?
I mean, he's 100%
Allegedly.
on coke. Like, absolutely. Trump is straight edge, though. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I believe that he don't do nothing.
Which is kind of wild. This part, this is incredible. I love this though, because like, he's definitely been around people who have done a shit ton of coke. Like, he was in New York.
Yeah.
In like the 80s and 90s, and he's been in the peak coke era.
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, yeah. So not just
wow.
Yeah.
It's sick.
That's down and dirty, right?
Yeah, and this. I mean, it was. Yeah,
But you don't anymore.
No, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is it too much? Too much to handle?
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it too. I don't know where we were even getting it from in this country, but yeah, it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something.
So the thing you go back to then is alcohol for the most part.
Right, yeah, but what I want probably is cocaine, but I know that if I have a drink, then it'll be like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger
Oh, yeah.
up?
Yeah. Cocaine
So you're way up with cocaine.
God, I
stronger up is a very good
I
way to
love
be.
America so much, bro. There is no other there's no other place on the planet where like a former president is gonna sit down with a dude who calls himself a dumbass objectively and just talk about doing coke.